often don't realize that we are the key to our own happiness, and that happiness starts with healing and transformation. Whether you need healing, guidance, clarity, understanding, or just some honest sister talk to feel connected, heard, and supported, you are welcome and safe here. So join the conversation and be healed. Welcome to Soul Healing Conversations with your host, Roz Kincaid.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Soul Healing Conversations. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Today, I'm going to be talking about rebranding yourself. Before we dive in, though, let me share with those of you who are new to the show how you can connect with me. If you like what you hear today and would like to work with me one-on-one, then I invite you to book a session with me at rozkincaid.com. When you go to my website, you'll also find some free downloadable content called 10 Practices to Master Your Energy. There's a lot going on around us, within us, and you have to be the leader of that ship. So, in order for you not to be swayed one way or another, it's imperative during these times, especially lots of things are shifting and changing. It's imperative that we get an understanding and learn how to, protect our energy and master it and detach and cleanse it and, do things to keep it at a high vibe. So I just created a little something for y'all to download from my website to help you do that. So I hope you like it. Take advantage of it, if you will. So listen, y'all, all good things must come to an end, or at least transition to something greater. So in March or April, I will be transitioning this radio show, Soul Healing Conversations, to another platform. Now, I haven't decided yet if it'll be YouTube or something else. I'm still waiting for that guidance from Spirit. But either way, this show is going to be moving on, and that's okay, because like I said, things transition. We got to move on to something greater, and not that anything is wrong with this, but Spirit wants to do more. That's all. The Spirit wants to do more. So in order for us to stay connected through the transition, I invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Soul Healing with Roz to learn more about all the things that I'm doing. So many things that I'm cooking up down here in this basement space of my home. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited that there's fresh new energy coming through. And I hope that you guys take the ride, continue to take the ride with me, because I love having you with me. So speaking of which, I am creating a new coaching program, and I'm looking for just a few women who want amazing and impactful results with going from feeling drained and overwhelmed by all the many roles that you're playing to feeling energized and connected in your work, connected in your relationships. The primary relationship being the one with yourself. And you want more, and you want to create more abundance and feel confident to show up as your authentic self. If that sounds interesting to you and the thought of that shift lights you up, then email me. Shoot me an email. Let me know that you're interested. You can contact me at hello@rozkincaid.com. There is a small investment required to get in on this, but I'm telling y'all, it's more than worth it, because you're worth it. You are worth it. And in this program, we're going to get into a little bit of that. So let me know. Let me know what's up. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you're interested, if you want to try it on and, work with me on going from blah to yay, more than yay. So I would love to work with many of you, but I need a small group before I kick it off officially. So, all right. So let's get into today's topic of rebranding yourself. So here we are. Got a new year, new month. It's a new day. And as is customary with a lot of people right now, and matter of fact, we just had new moon. We're in day 2 of the new moon in Capricorn. We're as I'm reading, we're in the age of Aquarius. as well. So everything seems to be shifting and changing and turning new. And so this topic of new year, new you is everywhere. But I want to do it differently. For me, this goes far beyond just writing down intentions, just writing down goals and, making New Year's resolutions. Because one, I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't be sticking to that. I don't stick to that shit. I don't sometimes. And I think for me, as may be reflected in the collective, because we're all connected, it may be time to really do a rebranding. Now, what do I mean when I say rebranding yourself? Okay, so if you think about businesses, right, and they have a brand that they, communicate to the public, whether it be through their logo or through their marketing materials, through their advertising, through their promoting, through social media, it all kind of looks and feels and sounds the same, right? And so even as a business person myself, a entrepreneur myself, I've gone through the process of a rebranding. For those of you that have been with me since 4-5 years ago, I started my business under the name of Karmic Wellness Center. Didn't fit me at all, but I needed a name, and that's what came to me. So I went with it. So I felt like I needed something that was more me, to not just attract the kind of people that I want to work with, but to really as a way to express the real me, or more of my real self. And so it's that same concept that we can use to rebrand ourselves, right? We can do different things to, I guess, change how we show up in the world. We can do different things to express who we are in the world, not just in the world. I mean, and take it all the way down to a personal level. Change who you might be how you might be expressing yourself in your relationships at work. If you do have a business, how you're expressing yourself with your clients, how you're showing up. What are you looking like to other people? What do you look like to yourself? I always, I worked really hard to not let any outside influences, I guess, build up my belief system, because, we've got all of this conditioning. And I know I talked about this before, but Spirit's bringing it up again. It keeps coming up again because this is something that God's Spirit really wants us to really work on. And so I felt like this rebranding yourself has to go far beyond just, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution and lose this COVID 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever, what you've picked up. It has to, now what we do, whatever changes we make has to have lasting results. It has to have lasting results, because everything that matters, if you know what I mean. And everything that doesn't can't matter. Kind of a crazy statement, but it makes sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you guys listening out there. So when I say rebranding yourself, it's basically creating a new version of yourself. That might be a whole new look and feel, your presentation, how you think, how you perceive the world through your own belief systems, and even underneath that, how you perceive your point of view of your own beliefs. Like this is the inside job. That was what I was trying to say about external influences. This type of work, this transformative healing work, this shit's an inside job. And everything on the outside is a reflection of what's going on the inside, really. What's being presented to you is telling you this is what's going on in you. Might not look the same way as what you're seeing but this is what's going on in you. And so I want to go a little bit deeper with this rebranding yourself. So why would you? Why would you rebrand yourself? Well, I mean, I think the reasons are many. Some people, I mean, let's take it on start with the more obvious. You're just not happy. You're not happy who you are. You got the frowny lines all over your face because you're mad. You're unhappy. You're not satisfied. You're not, comfortable with what your life is reflecting back at you when you take stock of it. You don't like how the energy feels to you, and you want something better, and you deserve something better, but you might not. There might be some things in the way of getting to that, and so that might be cause for I need to redo. I need a redo. Whether it's now or at your birthday or whenever, I don't care when it is. If there is something about you, about your life, about your energy, about your vibe that is not high vibe, it doesn't feel like it's in flow, then maybe it's time for a redo. Maybe it's time for a remake. Maybe it's time for a rebrand. And this is not about, whether or not other people like it. That's a huge, huge block with this type of self-healing and self-help transformative work. Is what are other people going to say? Listen, let me tell you something. I'll be the first one to raise my hand. I know y'all can't see me yet, but I'll be the first one to raise my hand and tell you I struggle with validation. I want people to be cool and be okay and be happy with what I do, what I say, how I do it, and how I say it. And it's like, damn, if I try to please the whole world, I'll never get nothing done. I will never get anything done. I will be stuck in this cycle of, is it good enough? Is it good enough? Is it good enough? And I'll never get anywhere. And I'll never be satisfied. And so my point is to use what you're seeing on the outside to really give you that reflection of what might be going on the inside. And let that, search your heart for what is the intention behind me wanting or needing to rebrand myself. Because I don't like it. That needs to be the answer. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but that really needs to be the answer. But if you don't like it, that needs to be the end of it. And that's it. It can't be any more of, well, if I do this, then they'll love me. If I say it this way, then they won't go off on me. If I do things a certain way, then I'll feel good about myself if they like it. I mean, how has that served you? Like, really, how has that served you? What kind of situation has that left you in when you look at, how other people view or think about what you do, say, how you show up, who you are? It's not so much at this point in the time of the year or, these times of, what resolutions do I want to make? What do I want to do differently? The question becomes, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? And this can even apply to, if you work in the corporate world, if you work a 9 to 5, I'm not advocating anybody to quit your job, but if that's what you need to do, then okay, be led, be led. Take divine inspired action. Okay, don't say Roz said. But that's the major question. Who is it that you want? Who do you want to be this year? Do you still want to be the person who puts herself out there for everybody and puts yourself on the back burner? Do you want to still be the person who just, gets caught up in the rat race of doing and doing and doing, and you don't give anything to yourself? Do you still want to be the mad bitch? Why you mad, sis? Why you always mad? You still want to be lonely? Unpartnered? Be single people? And if the answer is yes to that, cool. Hey, that's totally fine. There's no judgment. It's not for everybody. Trust me on that. Marriage and relationships or committed relationships, they're not for everybody, but you'll still learn something. This is why we would want to rebrand ourselves. Because we know we can be better. We know we can be more. Remember, y'all, it's quality, not quantity. Better quality. So, let's talk about some things that we can do to rebrand ourselves. First thing that came up when I was typing my little notes up here for the day was shadow work or inner child work, either or both. And you all have, for those of you that have been following the show, you all have heard the episode with Dr. Nicole LaPera about the ego and shadow and trauma and all of that stuff. And if you're listening to this show, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going into the ego space of your subconscious, the ego space of your emotions, and really facing the darkness, the anger, the depression, the anxiety, the needing the validation, the feeling stuck, the trauma. I mean, shit, you might need therapy. And I say, if you ask me, everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs therapy, at least one good session of therapy. Just to tap in and pull back the layers of what's really going on the inside, because when it's when it goes, I don't want to say untreated, but unnoticed, or when you don't pay attention to it, shadow pops up in other areas where you least expect it. It grows. It grows bigger and bigger until you pay attention to it. The pain becomes more visceral and palatable until you pay attention to it, because really things in your shadow want to be acknowledged and honored and say, hey, I see you. And it wants to be integrated, and it wants to be thanked for doing its job, because, it does have a job. It has a job. I talk about fear a lot on this program, because it's one of the things that I most deal with on a personal level. But those things in the shadow, such as fear, those really are tools, can be used as tools to help you make better decisions for your life. It's really there to protect you. Fear is there to protect you from doing something that's not beneficial to you, from, making a fool of yourself, from, getting yourself into some type of trouble. And it's there. But if you don't pay attention to it, it will take over your life. It'll take over your life. And some of us need to do some inner child work. Some of us need to go back and love on that little girl, love on that little boy that really that missed out. Whether the parents were in the home, whether, your parents got divorced at a young or any age, really, during those formidable years. And look at how that has impacted you, and how that trauma or those situations have informed your decisions about what you believe about yourself, and how they inform your decisions about how you show up in other relationships, and what partners you pick, and why you pick them, and how you move in relationships, and why you go so fast, and why you fall so hard and so quick, and why you don't give enough time to really know somebody. You got to do that work because we want to be, we want to experience wholeness here in this experience. And I think really now that I'm talking about, I feel like that's what spirit is has me here doing this kind of stuff. I'm in the experience type of person. I know that great things exist on a soul level in the spirit realm. And I always hear the phrase as above, so below. I'm that so below chick. I'm trying to get the above to be below and be here and experience that as much as we can on the earth. And that's really, and it just came to me that that's really what I'm supposed to be doing with y'all. Because that's what I want for myself. If there's something up there in the ethers, in the universe, and on the spirit and soul level that I'm supposed to be experienced, that's so great and so, euphoric and exciting and all of that, well, damn it, I want to have it here. I want to have it here. I want you to have it here. And as I figure that out, I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you what worked for me. And so going back to my point, doing inner child work. Again, that might mean you need some therapy. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Listen, the person that says that tries to shame you for seeking help for your stuff, you need to grab their arm and take their ass with you to therapy because they need it too. Okay. So shadow work, inner child work. That's deep, deep, deep stuff that needs to be cleaned out. It's almost like trying to clean out a pot that's been burned, not been burned, but it's got like caked on food. Like you want to get you some Ajax. You're going to get your Brillo pad. You're going to let that joint soak for a little bit to loosen all of that up. But I promise you, if you invest the time and the energy and the honesty and look at things for what they really are, I promise you, man, the pot will become new again. The container will become new again. You can. And I just heard this is just because you're 40, 50 years old doesn't mean you can't start over. That's a lie from the pit of hell, if you believe in hell. You can be healed. You can be made new. You can rebrand yourself. You can start over. There is life after death. There is life after death. And when the old you has died off, the new you is going to come beaming forward. It's like a snake sheds its skin. By the way, snakes aren't always associated with something bad. Look at the sign that we have for, what is it, the Red Cross, I think, or it might be Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's a snake around the staff. It's healing. It's healing. Anyway, I digress. So what else can we do to rebrand ourselves? First of all, even before any of the shadow work or the inner child work, you got to decide that you want to be healed. That's the decision to move forward. Decide that you want to be healed or you want to heal, and then do what it takes to heal. Do what it takes to heal. And I'm telling you right now, people got it twisted. Some people got it twisted thinking that healing is all, oh, I'm going to go to yoga. I'm just going to get on the Reiki table. I'm just going to get this energy cleared off. No, healing looks like what's that movie? It looks like the addict going through detox. That's the real shit to be going on. Y'all remember Beyonce in that movie? I can't think of the name of the movie now. Y'all hit me up on social media or whatever and let me know and remind me of what that movie is with her and Jennifer Hudson and Jamie Foxx. But Beyonce, the character Beyonce played in that movie was alcoholic. And when she tried to get off of it, boy, woo, it was not cute. And so be it with healing. Sometimes healing and transformation ain't cute, y'all. It gets ugly and it gets scary. But if you want what's on the other side of healing bad enough, then you'll stick with it. You'll stick with the ugly, the good, the ugly, and the bad, doing the ugly cry and all of that stuff. You'll hang in there with it, but it really does start with the decision of, do you want to heal? Do you want to try to be happy? As Brie Bellafuel told herself. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to heal? I mean, yeah. It's a decision, just like everything else. So quickly, before we take this quick break, I came into my little sacred space this morning and pulled a few cards, as I customarily do on most days. And I shuffled up the cards from the Work Your Light Oracle cards deck. And what immediately fell out of my hands was the Break the Chain card. And I'm going to post this card on my social media at Soul Healing with Roz, so you guys will understand what it is that I'm looking at. This Break the Chain card has a woman standing outside, a woman who is, in full color on this card. She's standing outside of a cave that is dark and drab, and it's very hard and mountainous. And she's standing and she's looking out into the sky where it's colorful, it's beautiful. You can see the planets, you see the sun, and behind her are shadows of, looks like her old self or ancestral beings from her lineage or from her past coming out of the cave. And under this card, it says ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Rewriting the future. And this really spoke to me because this is what Spirit is saying to me. This is exactly what Spirit is saying to me about the work that you, me, and everybody else is doing. Healing isn't only about you. Healing isn't only about you. And when I come back from this break, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you some more insight about why healing isn't just for you. So we'll be right back with more on rebranding yourself after this break.
You have a passion, and from that passion, you've created a business. But how do you market and grow that business? Hi, I'm Emily of Shine Coaching and Consulting. I specialize in brand identity, website design, marketing consulting, and business coaching. I create a visual expression of my clients' ideas and help them develop a business strategy to meet their goals. Connect with me today at shinecoachingandconsulting.com. Be inspired, be real, be you.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
You are tuned in to Soul Healing Conversations. If you would like to reach Roz Kincaid or her guest today, please call into the program at 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. You may also send an email to hello@rozkincaid.com. Now, back to Soul Healing Conversations.
Welcome back to Soul Healing Conversations, everybody. I'm your host, Roz Kincaid, and today I'm talking about rebranding yourself. It's a new year. Today's a new day, and we have the opportunity to recreate or rebrand ourselves if we feel like we need it. I mean, I don't know. You might be happy with the current version of yourself, and that's cool. That's all well and good. I'm glad that you have found yourself in a place where you feel great, you feel stable, you feel like you are, flowing in exactly who you're supposed to be. But for those that don't feel that way, I'm talking to you today. But before the break, I was talking about healing and how I had, in my quiet time this morning, had pulled a card just to get some insight from Spirit on, what it is I need to know. Nothing deep, nothing heavy. I just want to hear what they had to say to kind of set the tone for my day. And out fell the Break the Chain card from the Work Your Light Oracle card. And shout out to Gia Triumphio, I hope I said her name right, from Multidimensional Living. She actually told me that she was picking up that I needed to work with this deck. So shout out to you, Gia, and little Wolfgang that she just had, her baby. So this card speaks about breaking the chains on ancestral patterns, healing and rewriting the future. And when I looked at this card, I see a woman here walking out of a cave and walking towards everything in the universe that's beautiful, that's colorful, that's lit up. And I want to make the point that when you heal, other people heal. When you heal, you heal things that are ancestral. You heal things that your mother, your grandmother, your father, your grandfather, your great-grandparents, could not heal. And so we carry emotional trauma that has been pathologically handed down to us in our field for at least 7 generations back. That's why family patterns can be the hardest to break. Family patterns such as we don't talk about our business to nobody. We see things that we see incestuous activity happening in the family, but we don't say nothing. Children are to be seen, not heard. Things like hush up all that crying, stop crying. Why are you crying? Like not being able to have emotions. Things like that. The hard and fast rules that have been handed down to us because of who we come from, the people who are our ancestors. Healing from trauma from the past sometimes even is not yours, or you're observing old ways of being that no longer serve you. That is what you're healing. That's what the rebranding is about. So for those of you who have this deck, I encourage you to pull out the Break the Chain card and the Work Your Light deck. For those of you who don't have this deck and you're in the cards, hit up Amazon. It's a great deck. I really like it. Just make sure you read the table of contents if you're trying to look for the message, the exhaustive message of the card. But you got to heal to free up that energy. Some that's yours and some that's not yours. It's a part of the process. So what else can we do to rebrand ourselves? So think about, again, what a business does to rebrand themselves. They give themselves a new look. Same thing with you. Give yourself a new look. Let me tell you something. If you don't like how low your tits are hanging, get them joints lifted up. If you don't like that you even have a gut, do something. Call Dr. whoever it is to get you a Sonobello appointment to get it pulled in. Whatever. Do whatever it is that you got to do to make yourself feel better about how you look. If you don't like it, change it. It's your body. So what? You know, if you got lizard lips and you want to plump them up, girl, plump them, whatever. Do you? You want, you got short hair and you want long hair, get you a weave. Get a wig. Wigs have come a long way, honey. Trust me on that. Even not just for black women, but for white ladies too. Wigs have come a long way. Ask Kim Zolciak. Yes. Again, what I do caution you once again is if you're changing something because somebody else has said something about you isn't attractive or desirable, you need to think again. I'm telling you, don't let somebody else's perception of you become your truth. Because remember, everything that is presented to us is a projection or a reflection. Now you got to decide what's true for you. So again, if you don't like it, if you look down and you don't like it, girl, change it. Start walking. Do some core work. Get you some squats. Get you one of these contraptions that they keep advertising on Facebook on how to get your butt all nice and juicy and big. Exercise. Fast. Cut back on red meat. Like Corona's not going to be here forever. We all are going to be able to go back outside and travel again. So, yeah. Beach weather is still coming. Might be a little bit restrictive, but again, this comes down to if you don't like the way you are, the way you look, change it. You're the captain of the ship. You're the leader of the vessel. You make the rules. You get to say what's good and what's not. You get to call the shots about you. Okay? Let the outside reflect the inside. Work on that first before you go changing something because somebody else says you got a big nose or your eyebrows are too bushy, whatever the case may be. The people are full of shit, man. I tell you. I'm serious. People just so caught up in their own mess that they just spew is hate, and it's really self-hate. So we really got to fix that so that we're not out here continually hurting people because we don't love ourselves. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. Evaluate who you are and if you're satisfied with that person. Kind of ties into what I was just saying about the outward appearance. But really though, sit down and think about the last year or the last few years and what your life has been like over that time. And evaluate, take stock or take inventory of who you are now, how you're showing up and expressing yourself right now. And make a judgment call as to whether or not you're satisfied with who that person is. I mean, are you good with what you're doing, who you're being right now? Are you satisfied with the person that you see in the mirror? Not just appearance wise, but the soul that you see when you close your eyes, the soul that you see when you meditate, if you meditate, or the way your energy feels to you. Are you satisfied with feeling contracted? Are you satisfied with feeling the expansion that you might be feeling? And listen, and if you're good and you want to feel more, there's no judgment to that. There's no judgment to, hey, I'm feeling great, but I want to feel more of this great feeling. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Girl, get it. Sir, go out there and get it. Feel more of it. Expand your energy. Expand all the more so that you can have room enough to receive more of what you want on a more continual basis. But if that's not you and you want to experience expansion, you want to experience freedom, you want to experience more love, more abundance, then there's some things that you're gonna need to do. Because if you in your mind say, hey, I feel like I deserve a better life, a better experience, well then, honey, faith without works is dead. Your faith means nothing if you're not going to do anything about it. You want a better relationship, you can sit by the well and wish all day. But if there's no work behind what is true for you, then there is no manifestation. You feel me? So if you're not satisfied with that person, with the person that you are now, do some things like get an astrology reading. Find out who you are. You use the language of the sky to help you identify who you really are and what kind of challenges, you're supposed to grow through, and understand, why you keep repeating cycles. Why you keep picking the same person sometimes in friendships and romantic relationships. Why do you long for a certain type of person? Why do you attract a certain type of person? Why are you not attracting anybody at all? It could come down to timing. It could very well come down to timing. Like, listen, you need this space for spirit to be alone with you so that you can know you. Get an astrology reading, or start looking into some human design work. Figure out what type of creator you are. Whether you're a manifester, you're a generator. Human design is kind of new for me, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all about it. But what I've read about it has been super helpful for me. I'm a generator, which means that I don't do stuff until it lights me up. Like, spirit can throw an idea at me, as they always do. I always seem to have these bright fucking ideas. My friend Nancy's like, girl, you got all of these bright ideas. But then I make the mistake of thinking, well, if I got this idea, I guess I'm supposed to be doing it right now. And then I got all of these plates in the air, and it's like, I'm burnt out. I'm overwhelmed. I'm doing too much. Well, spirit is saying, look, we ain't throw all of that at you to do all of it right now. We want you to take the idea, sit on it, and when it's time for you to move on it, move. When you feel lit up about it, when you feel excited about it, or when you get that sign like, hey, I want to learn A, B, and C from you, or I want to work with you on this, or somebody, or it comes up and they know how to talk your language when to tell you when it's time to go. Synchronicity. You're seeing it more than one time. You're hearing it more than one time. That's when it's time for me to go. But see, I would not have ever known that had I not, read about or found out about myself through the little bit of human design that I know about. Like, get to know yourself. And I think and I'm going to say it again because I know I said it last week, but single people. Some of you might still be single because there hasn't been enough work done on the inside that says to spirit, you're ready and prepared to receive the great man or woman that they have for you. You might need to get an old person out of your system. You might need to cut a cord. You might need to do some more healing in order to be able to appreciate the gem that spirit wants to give to you. There's always work to be done. And, and I also feel like that when you get to a place of acceptance, and I'm speaking from my own experience with relationships and marriage, because I was in some really bad ones. I mean, all the way starting from high school through up to the point before I met my husband. But at the point where I met my husband, I had said to myself, I'm fine and good if I never get married. And now, mind you, I didn't wake up one day. Like, it was a process for me to get my life to a point where, okay, I'm good. I'm okay with my life right now, you know. And it was like I let go of it. Yeah, I still wanted to be a wife. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to be a mother, but I detached from. I loosened the grip on it. And then it just showed up. Like, literally, it showed up. Or he showed up. Now, 11 years later, and that shit ain't been easy. It takes work. And Spirit wants to know, are you ready to do the work? Because marriage, relationship, that's a whole other level of work. Then you throw a baby in the mix. Like, come on. It might not be your thing. I don't know. But you have to do your work. You have to understand who you are. Because really, nobody can tell you who you are. That's an exploration that you got to go find out for yourself. You can't be dependent on somebody to tell you who you are. You need to know that for yourself. And stand in it. Right, wrong, indifferent. Good, bad, and ugly. You need to know the whole truth about yourself. Something else you can do is find a coach or a spiritual advisor. I know a great one talking on the microphone right now. I'm telling you, sometimes, and I say this from a coach who's being coached. Yeah, the coach has a coach, y'all. Because I'm doing the work right along with you. Remember, I'm human too. But seeking out spiritual advice, whether it's from a pastor, a psychic, a tarot reader, an intuitive counselor, a medium, whatever the case may be, or a coach, therapist, find somebody that you trust and that you vibe with, you can connect with, that, gets you and you get them, and you know what I'm saying? You'll know if the connection is right. And listen, if I'm not the right person for you, that's okay. That's fine. I want you to go find the person that is right for you. No hate, no judgment. Ain't nobody mad. But find a coach, somebody that knows how to ask certain questions to elicit certain emotions and certain insights to come up to get you to thinking and to help you, understand what inspired action you can take that feels good to you to start to make some changes in your life. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, but most of the time, and I hear this not just for me, but I hear this a lot from card readers that, I have a hard time reading for myself, pulling cards for myself. I have a hard time trusting my intuition. It's almost as if we as intuitives who do this professionally, we have the hardest time believing what the cards say about us. We have the hardest time trusting our own intuition. But when you come to us, the messages just flow. It's super easy. They're accurate. But let it be for us. And it's like, I don't know about this. Is this right? Like, yeah, bitch. It is right. Your intuition. Bitch, you better listen. I love that. But find someone that you can trust that can help you pull back the covers. Really get down to the root of what is in your way from achieving goals and achieving the type of existence and experience that you want to have. Because if you don't like the experience that you have, and girl, go get a new one. Go have another one. Go find a new experience. Do something to change the one that you're in. Another thing we can do to rebrand ourselves is to just stop being who you're not. Stop being who you are not. Stay true to yourself. I just had a session with my coach and a group of other ladies. Very powerful group session with Minerva Maharaj, Goddess of Wisdom. Check her out. God, she's everything, man. Hope to have her on the show one day. But she is taking us through such a very transformative and deeply impactful process right now. And she recently spoke to us about manifesting from soul as opposed to ego. When you're manifesting and really doing things and being led from the soul, it feels easy. It feels effortless. It's like the choice is easy, as opposed to creating from lack and scarcity and fear, and need. It feels tight and contracted and forced, and like we're doing it under duress of some kind. And so it reminds me to, stop doing shit you don't want to do. Like be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Remain true to yourself. And if you don't want to do it, you feel some type of obligation to do it, then you got to look at that. Listen, the change, once you decide to make change, is not going to be easy because you haven't been doing that as normal practice. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. The reaction and responses from the people who your choices affect, it's going to be challenging. It is going to be challenging because it's a new you. People going to have to get used to it. People going to have to get used to the new you. But that doesn't mean that if people can't get with the program, that you stop the process of change. That you stop the process of evolving into something greater, into a new version that you can live with. Because when you get back on the other side, nobody's going to answer for what you did, how you did it, but you. Yes, there is a life review process when you get over there. Nobody's going to vouch for that. Nobody's going to answer for that, but you. Okay. Determine who it is that you want to be and what you want to have. And then have it, do it, be it. Of course, if you need a little help, I got you. If you want me to have you, there is support out here when you're ready to be that new person. And you're not sure how to take the next steps, okay? Listen, I'm out of time for today, you guys. Again, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Soul Healing with Roz. Let me know how you feel about today's episode. I know these last couple of topics have been a little heavy, but listen, it's time to get real about some of this stuff and quit playing with it. And I got some fun stuff coming over these next few months. But I feel like the spirit need me to get in y'all's ass a little bit and really get you guys to take the rose-colored glasses off and really see, what is going on around you. It's time to wake it up. It's time to wake it up. Again, like some people, I can hear some people saying, "Oh, I've already had it away." You're gonna have many more, hun. You're gonna have many more, and it's time to wake up to what you can be. Like you haven't even scratched the surface of who you really are and the greatness that is within you. So visit my website if you need to, Roz Kincaid, to book some time with me. Meet me back here next time for another episode. Till then, you guys, stay strong. Try to stay positive. I know it's hard. Control what you let in your eye gates. You don't have to be looking at police brutality all the time. CNN doesn't have to be on the tube all the time. There's other things to watch. Keep doing the work at your own pace. Stay safe, y'all. Much love. Bye-bye.
Thank you again for listening to Soul Healing Conversations. Please join Roz Kincaid again for another program next Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Variety Channel. We'll talk again next week.